Good evening. Welcome to this special year-end edition of Northeast Diary. Today we bring to you an eclectic mix of stories and snippets from India's unexplored Northeast region that managed to touch our hearts this year. Be it the Hornbill Festival of Nagaland or the Cherry Blossom Festival of Shillong, our year-ender edition is a treasure trove of colorful stories and magical tunes that will warm your hearts. At the very onset, let us go over to Kohima, where the Hornbill Festival was held recently. The Hornbill Festival is a beautiful way of acquainting ourselves with the many tribes that live in the state and the songs that live on in their souls.
This festival is held at the heritage village of Kisama, about 12 kilometers from Kohima, the state. A visitor gets the opportunity to catch a ringside view of all the Naga tribes, the culture and distinctiveness at one place. The Hornbill Festival is a gateway to experience the unique tribal way of life, besides indulging oneself in the modern tunes of music, handicrafts, Naga cuisines, and many more.
Moving on, the India International Cherry Blossom Festival is the calendar event that attracts a record number of tourists to Shillong in Meghalaya. This event is held sometime in late November every year when the lovely pink cherry blossoms adorn the nooks and corners of the Shillong city. The cherry blossoms, which flower for a very short period, is a testimony to the ephemeral nature of life.
The cherry blossoms are considered a gift from the Himalayas. They usually grow across the eastern and western range of the Khasi Hills. Singing, fashion shows, live music and a plethora of other activities like dance competitions, pageants, several stalls cater to represent their region through the cuisine, wine, arts and crafts, etc. during the 3-day event. Prem Kumar, a tourist from Kolkata, on his maiden visit to Shillong said,
"It's actually better to be here instead of going to other countries like Japan for this festival, and I'm actually looking forward for other activities of the festival, and I would actually request the whole world to visit this amazing place."
This is Rustam for Northeast Diary from Shillong.
Earlier this year in Tripura, the Border Security Force had organized a friendly football match with their counterpart, Border Guard of Bangladesh, to mark the celebration of 50 years of Bangladesh's independence at Belonia in South Tripura district. A report on this.
Inspector General BSF Frontier Tripura, Mr. Susanta Kumar said,
BSF BGB Maitri Football Match Series are now going to be organized in all the 6 frontiers of Eastern Command BSF. The purpose of organizing all such friendly sports events is to enhance cooperation and goodwill between the two border guarding forces, that is BSF and BGB, and also to increase the friendly relationship between the people residing on the border areas.
As part of the celebration, Maitri cycle rallies were also organized all along the border roads under the Eastern Command of BSF. The IG said relations between India's BSF and Bangladesh BGB have seen a significant improvement owing to such collaborative programs. The IG also informed that the long-standing impasse over erecting a single row fencing in selected areas along the Indo-Bangla international border has also reached an amicable solution. This is Rina Nongmaithem from Magatala.
Friends, not many of us know that the northeastern region is a gateway to the country's connectivity and relations with the Southeast Asia. It is a link between two fundamental pillars of Indian foreign policy: Neighborhood First and Act East. Future plans to enhance connectivity include a 4-lane trilateral highway linking India with Thailand via Myanmar, which could see expansion up to Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla had recently remarked that railways that link India and Myanmar and further to Thailand, Laos, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam and Bangladesh are all very possible in the future. Connectivity between the Northeast and Southeast Asia could give a major boost to the economy of the region. Sikkim's lone Olympian at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, Tarundeep Rai, was recently conferred with the Padma Shri. The achievement was significant for the tiny Himalayan state. A report.
Having made his debut in international archery at the age of 19 at the Asian Archery Championship in 2003 in Myanmar, Tarundeep Rai's Padma Shri Award marks a key milestone in his 2-decade-long journey in archery. Among other achievements, Rai had won India its maiden individual silver medal in archery at the 16th Asian Games in 2010 in China and was a member of the Indian archery team that won the bronze medal at the 15th Asian Games in Doha in 2006 and the 11th place Indian men archery team at the 2004 Summer Olympics. He was honored with the Arjun Award in 2005 for his contribution to archery. The 3-time Olympian shared his message with Northeast Diary.
नमस्कार, सबसे पहले मैं भारत सरकार का शुक्रगुजार करना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने पद्मश्री अवार्ड के काबिल समझा। इस अवार्ड का मान, सम्मान तथा मर्यादा को मैं पूरा कायम रखूंगा और आने वाले पीढ़ियों को मैं देश की सेवा, अपने राज्य की सेवा के लिए मोटिवेट करूंगा।
On National Sports Day on 29th August this year, Mr. Tamang had also announced the planned establishment of an archery academy named after the archer to commemorate his sporting legacy. With Saikat Sarkar, this is Diliram Dulal for Northeast Diary, Sikkim.
Youth of Mizoram, they are not simply music lovers, rather most of the youth are singers and musicians. The sylvan settings and bewildering landscape of the state have made the Mizo youth develop a zeal for photography. 2 separate initiatives have come up to encourage the youth more in the field of music and photography. Our Aizawl correspondent has all the details.
Recently, Mizoram Youth Commission signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Asian Music Network named Music Connect Asia to provide exposure for Mizo singers and musicians. The MOU has been signed because the Music Connect Asia is an artist-driven venture for Asian singers and musicians and has been working for connecting and creating avenues world over. On the similar line of promoting the local talents, Mizoram Youth Commission has taken up an initiative of organizing a 5-day photographic salon at Aizawl recently. While inaugurating the photographic salon, the MYC chairman, Dr. Vanlal Chanpuya, said that the main focus of MYC is to find talents of young youths and nurture them to scale up their skills worthy of employment. He further informed that the MYC has tied up with the National Academy of Photography and Federation of Indian Photography with the objective that these 2 national organizations will help to hone the skills of Mizo photographers so that they can take up photography as a successful career. For Northeast Diary, this is Irene from Aizawl.
In the year 2021, we broadcast a range of interviews with distinguished personalities covering different aspects including sports, economy and social welfare. Today we bring to you snippets from some interviews which throw a light on the uniqueness of the Northeast. We have an interview with K.N. Sharma, former secretary in the government of Sikkim, who talks about the significance of festivals.
During the month of August, it is Tendong Loramphak, is a festival of Lakshmi community, and thereafter Tej, it is worship of Lord Shiva, and thereafter we celebrate Janmashtami, and then festival Dasai, known as Dasara. above Duchen. This is related with the story of Buddha coming down to earth after his Mahaparinirvana. Then Bihar, elsewhere it is known as Deepavali or Lakshmi Puja. And then Udhauli Puja. When the people had pastoral life, they bring their herd to the lower elevation during the winter season. And at the end of the calendar year, Losung festival, a big festival of Bhutia community. And finally, Makar Sankranti, a big festival observed in the valley of the hills. All the cross-community people are invited and they participate. So, at the initiative of the organizer, it has an element of integration and harmony among the people.
Next, we bring to you an interview with Sri Ratnesh Kumar, Commandant Bsf 120 Battalion, who tells us about the tasks and challenges faced by the BSF in guarding the Indo-Bangladesh border at Tripura.
त्रिपुरा राज्य के 856 किलोमीटर लंबी सीमा रेखा बांग्लादेश के साथ लगती है, जिसमें 518 किलोमीटर समतल और मैदानी इलाका है, 338 किलोमीटर पहाड़ी और जंगली इलाका है हमारे त्रिपुरा राज्य में, जहां पे हमारे नागरिक हैं वो सीमा रेखा तक निवास करते हैं। वैसे इलाकों में जो अपराध होते हैं उसमें खास करके अवैध रूप से पकी हुई फसल को काट के ले जाना, पशुधन की चोरी कर लेना, डकैती करना, अपहरण करना, इस तरह की घटनाएं होती रहती थी। तो सीमा सुरक्षा बल की तैनाती के बाद उस पर कुछ अंकुश लगा। भारत और बांग्लादेश के बीच में नस्ली, भाषाई और सांस्कृतिक समानता, इसके कारण अगर किसी घुसपैठिए को हमने पकड़ा भी है, घुसपैठिया है या नहीं है, वो आइडेंटिफाई करना हमारे लिए एक चुनौती है। बहुत सारे ऐसे घर भी हैं जिनका बांग्लादेश में संबंध है। आधा घर आप बोल सकते हैं भारत में, आधा घर जो है बांग्लादेश में है। तो ये एक हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी चुनौती है। भारत और बांग्लादेश में भौगोलिक परिस्थिति सेम है। यहाँ की पहाड़ियां कच्ची है और जंगल ट्रॉपिकल रेन रीजन होने के कारण जंगल काफी घने हैं। बारिश बहुत होने के कारण कच्ची पहाड़ियों में लैंडस्लाइड होता है। इन सब कमियों के कारण हमारी जो सीमा चौकी है वहां पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए, उसकी कमी है। मच्छर वो बहुत ज्यादा है, तो मलेरिया हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ी चुनौती है। इतनी सारी प्रतिकूल परिस्थितियों के बावजूद भी एक सीमा प्रहरी जो हमारा मोटो है, जीवन पर्यंत कर्तव्य, उसको हम पूरा करते हैं और देश का सर ऊंचा रखने के लिए हम कटिबद्ध हैं।
We had a chat with the acclaimed writer from Assam, Dr. Rita Chaudhary, who is a poet, novelist, and Sahitya Akademi Award recipient in the world of Assamese literature.
During Assam movement, I came to know about competition organized by Assam Sahitya Sabha. The theme was Assam movement. So as I was a part of the Assam movement, I have a direct experience of the movement. And as I was absconding that time, so I thought I should write, and I started writing. People will not only know me as an activist of the Assam movement, but also as a writer. I have a power with me, that is my pen, which no one can take away from me. And to write, I don't have to depend on anybody. It is not costly. I don't need any money to write, and my pen cannot be controlled. From 1999, it was a continuous journey, writing and writing and writing. Then my son was born, but parallelly, now I have become a multitasker. I earn the capacity to work like that, to juggle. My only work was to look after my children, to write, to earn, and to build my own identity. I did my PhD, wrote many novels. What is the position of women in the society of the Northeast? I was born in Arunachal. So my first experience about the position of women is the Arunachali society, Arunachali women. Position of women, if we compare with the other parts of India, we are in a better position. Assamese language, this language was used mainly to communicate politically or socially. And another thread is the Indian culture, like Mahabharata, especially Mahabharata. We have characters like Hirimba, we have characters like Bhagadatta, Narakasura. And we have cultural connections like Manipur. Ulupi and Chitrangada was wife of Arjuna. Hirimba was wife of Bhima. So, Bhagadatta was king of Kamrup. He took part in the Kurukshetra war. Krishna married Rukmini from Assam. Krishna's grandson married the princess of King Bana. So, there are two different types of position of women. One is a tribal society where women are more empowered, more free. And in this Aryan kind of society, there was patriarchy. For every person, not only the women, men also, you are not limited to a sexual identity. You are a human being. You are a complete person. So you live and evolve fully as a human being. Your internationally acclaimed book, Maqam, highlights the plight of the Indian Chinese people living in North Assam in the year 1962. Would you please elaborate on this? When tea was explored in Assam, British people started tea industry in Assam and they brought the Chinese indentured laborers to work in the tea gardens of Assam. And they were indentured laborers, they did not bring their family with them. So they married local maidens and settled and established a new society, which we call Assamese Chinese.
Anshu Jamsenpa is an Arunachali mountaineer and the first woman in the world to scale the summit of Mount Everest twice in a season, and the fastest double summiter to do so within 5 days. She talks to Northeast Diary about her incredible journey.
ये एक महिला है और 2 बच्चों की माँ है, तो शायद ये नहीं क्लाइम कर पाएंगे। मतलब किसी को भी मेरे ऊपर भरोसा नहीं था। सबको लगता था कि मैं बेस कैंप से ही वापस आ जाऊंगी। पर जैसे मैंने सबमिट किया तो फिर वहाँ पे 2011 में मैंने 10 दिन के अंदर 2 बार क्लाइम किया, तो वो एक रिकॉर्ड बना। ऐसे करके फिर लोगों को भरोसा हुआ। जो लोग नेगेटिव बोलते थे वही लोग आगे बढ़ के उन्होंने मुझे कांग्रेचुलेट किया। बहुत सारे बुरा वक्त भी आया, मुझे लगा कि डेड एंड मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी, इतना अपने आप को पुश नहीं कर पाऊंगी। फिर हमेशा ये सोचती रहती थी कि नहीं, एक अच्छे काम को लेके मैंने शुरुआत किया है तो भगवान है, वो देख रहा है। दूसरी चीज ये थी कि क्लियरिटी, कि मुझे पता था कि क्या करना है मुझे। क्लियरिटी होने की वजह से ही मैं कर पाई हूँ। एक स्पिरिचुअल फीलिंग वो हमेशा रहते हैं, भगवान का आशीर्वाद है। उस टाइम पे हम लोगों को खाने का पीने का ऐसा कुछ भी मतलब ध्यान नहीं रहा, बस सेफली वहाँ पे जाना है। करीब 16-18 घंटा तो मिनिमम मतलब चलना पड़ता है, रात भर क्लाइंबिंग करना पड़ता है। 5 बार जब मैं गया तो हवा तो कहता है। एक ही बार था 2011 में जब मैं सेकंड अटेम्प्ट के लिए गई थी, उस वक्त हवा नहीं था, मौसम बहुत अच्छा था। जब मौसम अच्छा रहता है तो फिर आपका क्लाइंबिंग एक्सपीरियंस भी टोटली डिफरेंट हो जाता है। इट मेक्स अ वास्ट डिफरेंस। आपको बहुत क्लाइंब को जो बहुत इजी कर देते हैं। तो मेरा तो 5 बार में 4 अटेम्प्ट तो बहुत ही एक्सट्रीम कंडीशन में मैंने ये किया।
Chief Executive Officer of Guwahati Metropolitan Development Authority, Sri Kausar Hilali, talks to us about beautification project of Guwahati.
A significant place where one has to, of course, make a visit or stop by is the Kamaka Temple. It's one of the Shakti Peeths that we have in Guwahati, and it's right here. And there's a legend that says that if you visit Kamakya once, you have to come back again for another time at least. Beyond the Kamakya, of course, I mean, we have this absolutely magnificent vista of the Brahmaputra, and you can actually take an evening, ride on one of those very prettily and gaily done up boats. For you to spend time, we in the GMD have developed this old DC's bungalow into what we are calling the River Heritage Center. It's a small museum, it's a 150 plus year old building, and we've restored it to the kind of building it was 150 years ago. The bungalow, the residence of the Deputy Commissioner, and it was apparently constructed in the 1850s. From records, we've been able to find out that it was an old Scottish kind of a building, but it probably was razed to the ground during the earthquake in 1897. What we've done is we've restored it to the pristine structure that it was. We took the help of some very eminent conservation architects, Smita Makhija and Zia Hussain, and they've done a fabulous job. The repository of information pertaining to the Brahmaputra and of the people who live along the Brahmaputra. Then, in order to show a side of Guwahati or the Brahmaputra that we don't know of, we've curated a lot of old photographs. It's a beautiful journey from 1874 to almost 1970, and these are black and white pictures, super pictures. We've tried through photographs and through some creative work, we're trying to show you how the Assamese motifs have evolved. So it's unlike anything else that you've seen anywhere. The whole thought of actually sitting on the veranda that overlooks the Brahmaputra and watching the sunset from there, create as much of green space as possible for the elderly, for the children. Nehru Park, which was one of the biggest and the best parks in Guwahati, so we've tendered for it, and there's a bidder who's come in, and it's going to be a spectacular park hopefully delivered to Guwahati by the 15th of August next year. The best place among the green spaces that we are creating in the near future is going to be the botanical garden in the old jail campus, which will be spread almost over 10 acres. It's going to be a mix. It's going to be a botanical garden and park as well. These green open spaces are really going to allow us to breathe more. And I think the biggest gift, hopefully, that I would be able to deliver to Guwahatians is the Silsaku Beel, which is one of the bigger water bodies. It's about 700 odd bighas. We've decided that in order to prevent encroachment and also to allow birds to come and nest, what we're doing is we're cleaning up all the water hyacinth. We've been doing it for the past 2 months, and I hope within the next 2 months we will be able to deliver to Guwahati a fabulously beautiful lake.
Lastly, we have with us the very popular and famed Guru Rubin Mashangwa of Manipur. He's a renowned folk musician and singer who has received many awards at the national level. He was conferred with Padma Shri Award.
The folk is every songs, every feelings came from the workplace because throughout the year they are working in the battlefield. So wherever they go, they may be, any sound is folk. And I think they are not mixed. Their mind is for outside the music, because the folk is your workplace. There is a folk feelings, folk songs, rhythms, whatever is come out automatically to connect to the nature and your hard working time.
Can you present one popular folk music of Tangkhul community for our listener?
It's not a pure original, but this is me and my brother compositions a long time back, this is 1980s, and this is only we are composing mouth only, not instruments. Now I use guitar after 25-30 years, but let me sing that songs from my mouth, no instrument. Wan liao mi ke ki wan lo ge bai a wan ne. Wan liao mi ke ki wan lo ge bai a wan ne.
peace. Where there is love, where there is peace. In the air, my wings shall sing this love song. Oh, love song. Forever.
Friends, as we all now know, music is inseparable from the lives of people of the Northeast. To ring in the new year with positive vibes, we have a selection of tunes from the region. Let us begin by listening to Borgeet from Assam, which was composed by Saints Shankar Dev and Madhav Dev in the 16th century. Now let us listen to a rendition of "O My Beloved Land" from the acclaimed Shillong Chamber Choir. Who does not know Tetsio sisters from Nagaland? Let's listen to this popular track called O Rosi. Let's all enjoy some traditional music from Sikkim. And now, let us tune in to some melodious music from Tripura. And now some Manipuri music. And lastly, let us tune in to some Arunachali music. And with that, we have come to the end of this special year-end edition of Northeast Diary. We wish all our listeners a very happy New Year 2022 and hope that the new year brings peace and prosperity to all. Until we meet next year, bye-bye.
This year-ender edition of Northeast Diary was narrated by Anuja Kumar, produced by Sharmila Goswami, and assisted by Kamlesh Mudgal. This special year-ender edition of Northeast Diary was brought to you by the News Services Division of All India Radio.